Hello, happy Sunday to you all. I am super excited coming your way. I love it. Why? Because I have powerful ladies with me tonight. They are queens running their own castles, and I happen to, go knock on their doors and say, please come and empower us tonight. And they have joined. So thank you so much for joining, ladies. I know Nana is joining me from London and Gifty, but LillieMae is joining us from North Carolina. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you.
Hello.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for having us.
Nana, let's start from you. Somebody just tweet who Nana. I see Nana, Nana, Nana. So you tell us why Nana, but tell me what you do, Nana.
Hi, everyone. My name is Chanelle Nana Preko. I live in London. I'm a mother of three beautiful, amazing kids and my darling husband. And I run a number of businesses, a bit too much to go into, but I work around my kids. So I've tried to create businesses that work around my kids.
Fantastic.
We can go into on another day.
Fantastic. Gifty, what about you?
Hi everyone, I'm Gifty Enright. I am an author and also a coach for women. I specialize in women in burnout and help them come out of burnout and balance work, family, career, everything. So those are the two things I do.
And you're a mother and a wife.
Oh, there is that too. Sorry, I forgot.
Two beautiful, handsome boys. Okay. LillieMae, tell us.
Yes, hello. So, as you said, I am LillieMae, creator of the Glambitious brand. And so my brand helps women grow spiritually and financially. And we have a ton of resources available to help women entrepreneurs, including speaking opportunities, interview opportunities, and other profitable programs. I've been a public relations strategist and profit coach for over 10 years as a full-time entrepreneur. So I'm always excited to help women really thrive in entrepreneurship.
Fantastic. Oh, today we're going to learn a lot. When I heard the profit, I got excited. I want to make profits this year. But let's dive into it. It's a month of love, and we are all lovey, 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 dovey. And I know you were in a reality show, so we'll come to that on love. And Nana, you've been married for quite a while. Tell me about marriage life. How have you thrived successfully in your marriage?
Well, what should I say? I've been married. I met my husband 31 years ago. We've been married for 25 years.
Wow.
Come December 30th. I guess I met him when I was quite young. I think I met him 5 days before I turned 17.
Wow.
That's when our friendship started.
So he's your childhood sweetheart.
Yeah, childhood sweetheart.
Okay.
So it's been a long journey. It's been a very, very long journey through studying, moving to London, and eventually getting married. So I guess we've sort of grown together, and we're still growing together. So we balance each other out in a lot of things. And obviously, as the years have gone back, we've had the kids. So there've been so many dynamics in our lives. And thank God we sort of did everything together. So we've continued to do everything together. So we sort of balance off each other's strengths and weaknesses as well. So what he's strong in, he takes charge, and what I'm strong in, I'll take charge. So, and I think another thing, we consult each other on everything. So we always work as a team. So I don't know, for some reason it's worked, and we're still very laughed up, and we still laugh. And I guess if we're honest with each other, it just flows. It just comes naturally to us. I think we're blessed and we're very lucky.
Fantastic. I can see you. I can see that you're blushing. I can see that you're blushing. She's in love. Gifty, you also be married. I saw you post on Facebook celebrating your marriage anniversary. So tell us how the journey has been like.
Yeah, so I've been married for 25 years and
Oh, so
we
the
just
two of you. Okay, congratulations. Wow.
thank you, thank you. And well, so it's interesting how it works. So just like Hannah and I was saying, I mean, we are quite very different people, not to mention very different cultures, right? So it is just coming together with the different cultures, different life experiences. But for us, I guess what makes it work is we recognize that we're different people. What his strengths, shall we say, are my weaknesses, and my weaknesses are his strengths. So we don't both stress out at the same time. You know, what stresses him out doesn't stress me out, and what stresses me out doesn't stress him out. And then of course, you know, he loves me and I love him, so that helps. You know, that helps a lot, because the thing with marriage is the person you meet when you first meet them is not necessarily the same person 25 years later, because you go through life, you change, things change, and if you're lucky, you get to change and grow in the same direction, because not everybody has that luxury. But also, marriage is about work. No matter what the gloss you put on it, it is about work and two people making the choice that they're in it together and they're going to stick with it through everything. And that is what makes it work.
Oh wow. Well, so we're taking notes. Those of us who want our marriage to thrive, we're going to really take notes. Lily May, you were engaged once upon a time, but what happened? Tell me what happened.
Essentially, I think it's to the point that Gifty may have just said, where we were growing in different directions. And so fortunately that happened, before, we got to the level of you ladies. So we were able to figure that out early. So yeah, we just were growing in two different directions.
And but you've gone on to do a lot of stuff. So today we have well, should I say single? Are you dating at the moment?
Yes, I have
Okay.
a really great man that
Ooh.
I am involved with.
So you see the way she went. I have a great man. So we will get to know this man. But one thing I love about you is with your Glambitious brand, you always pulling women together and empowering women. How did you get this vision?
Well, as a PR strategist, it kind of grew naturally. I was working with a celebrity chef in Atlanta, and he was opening up a new venue. And so he hired me to get people in the door. And so I just started, inviting the women that I know to have panels and conversations, and it just grew naturally. And then I thought I should start having this in different cities. And so then we had it in Charlotte, North Carolina, Atlanta, Miami, Philadelphia, New Orleans during Essence Fest. And it just began to snowball into, the Glambitious brand. So now that's, pretty much all I do is create opportunities and resources for women to thrive in entrepreneurship. So it was definitely a gradual process that this vision came into fruition.
I nearly said hallelujah. It's a Sunday. Oh my goodness. Nana, well, tell me about the name Nana, because everywhere you find a Ghanaian, there is Nana somewhere, and people keep asking Nana, and Nana, a man called Nana, a woman called Nana. So somebody's texting me another Nana. So how did Nana come about? I don't want to say. You tell us.
Oh wow. Basically, my name is Chanelle Nana Ikuya Preko. Right.
Mhm.
Nana Ikuya Preko obviously is my married name. My maiden name is Prempe. I
Mhm.
got my Nana because my dad's dad, I'm not sure everyone's familiar, was Prempe the second in the Ashanti region in Ghana. So
Mhm.
my dad was a prince, hence I'm a princess. Hence Nana means princess as well. So all my siblings we've all got Nana starting with before the rest of our names. So that's where I get my Nana from.
Okay, so Nana is more of royalty in the Ghanaian, especially in the Akan community. So everybody, or Nana also represent like an elderly person or a wise person in the family. So if you
Yeah.
see somebody called Nana, then at least you know. Let's come to you running your home. You have a business. I know you have a successful business doing amazing things and have three beautiful children, two girls
Yeah.
and a boy. Tell me
Mhm.
how you're able to manage balancing your business and also raising your kids, that they very successful in what they do, because we live in Europe and many a times we hear that, oh, you cannot, you can't raise kids to a certain standard in Europe and things like that. We hear all these myths. So tell us how you'll be able to successfully do this in your home.
Well, for me, obviously, it's hard work, but I believe I plan.
Mm,
I have to plan everything. I plan my meals. I plan. I plan everything. So, and obviously, luckily, I've got a supportive husband as well. So, right on when I first had my oldest daughter, I was working full time, and I was leaving the house like 6 a.m. in the morning, rushing to work, dashing, sending her to a childminder and that sort of life. It was after I had my second child, after I stayed home for a while, about 7 months, I realized that I wanted to look after the children myself. So I had to make that decision to give up work, something that I had studied hard and worked hard to achieve. But I had to take a step back and say I wanted to look after the children myself. So it was my decision. I mean, my husband said, "Are you sure?" I said, "Yes, I wanted to do this by myself." So I started doing that. I was, home mom, doing, just doing everything, focusing on the children. But as time went along, I got really bored. So I thought, what can I do that I can, do around the kids? So hence I started looking at businesses that I could do. And a friend of mine introduced me to childminder. So she said, I said, "Whoa, I'm just going to sit home looking after more children." And she goes, "No, you run it as a business." So it was a business where I had staff helping, looking after the kids. Then again, I started getting bored. Then I moved into schools. So at one point, I had 3 after-school clubs. But again, I did it all in the kids' schools. So as my son would say, it's like she's got a window outside my classroom window, because I knew everything that was going on. By the time he came down, I knew what he had done all day, because the teachers became friends and they would tell me. So I was always around my kids, the girls' school and my son's school. So that's how I've just basically worked around them. And I've had businesses that I can work when they're in bed. I can be working first thing in the morning. I can do some bits before, so I'm always there. It's time consuming, very busy for me, but I guess I work on adrenaline and it works. I've made it work, but it's planning. You have to plan and be organized.
Planning, and also whatever, because sometimes we do things, and another thing that I think LillieMae does, you love what you're doing, but then you monetize it, and that's one thing a lot of us don't know how to do, monetizing the things that we love to do or we find ourselves doing, and not do it for free. So you got the kids and you made lots of money, so make sure you send me a check soon. So, Gifty, you speak to women as well internationally and empower women. And I had the opportunity to interview Gifty when her book came out, Octopus on a Treadmill, which this month is a book that the Nana Cheche Show has chosen for our friends and our family and our fans. Gifty, tell me how you were able to write a book, raise two amazing boys, and do what you do.
Well, so first of all, it starts with a supportive husband. And when I go, and because I speak to a lot of women's network, and when I go there, I honestly think the women's agenda is going to be further advanced the more men we have on board, because it takes two, and what you need is for you not to be there trying to do everything. Because if you're there trying to do everything, you're going to burn out. That's the first thing. And those of us that grew up in Africa, we know that it really does take a village, right? And so it means when you're here and you don't have that village, right? And you don't have the extended family, you don't have the aunties dropping in and all that, and it's just you have to make sure that you're mobilizing all your resources. And by that, I mean As soon as the children can start walking, you start giving them chores, right? That is how you mobilize the resources. So by the time they're teenagers, they're making their own beds, they're doing their own laundry, they're helping with the housework. Because if you insist on doing it all yourself, and I did this for a while, stupidly, believe it or not, what happens is that what you're bringing up is children that aren't completely independent, right? So they're dependent on you to do all these things for them, which is not good for you. And when you get everybody involved, nobody is running themselves ragged, right? And especially if you have the supportive husband and they see their dad doing the hoovering, why would the child not do the hoovering if they see their dad do the hoovering? So it's about getting everybody involved. And like Nana said, you have to be organized. Yes, because you don't have that spontaneity that you had before children. So you have to be organized. But what I see, which breaks my heart, is these women that are completely run off their feet and their children are sitting there watching telly. No, that's not happening. When it's housework, everybody's doing their bit. And if we're chilling and watching telly, we're all chilling and watching telly, right? I mean, I've got two boys and they can both cook because that is how it needs to be. So if I don't feel like cooking, I'm not going to starve because somebody else can cook and we can all look after each other. So that is how I did it.
Fantastic. I've got three girls and one boy, and they're all, I mean, they're all amazing. And what you said, when they see their dad do things, and my 10-year-old, he's going to be 11 next month. He cooks. And the other day he said, Mommy, I'm going to cook you breakfast. And I was surprised. I mean, I know, the gas and everything, but he is so matured. It's unbelievable. And the way he serves, when I finish eating, he will take the tray, he will wash the dishes because he sees his dad do it. And so what you were saying is very right. So let us all take, notes. Let us, if your kids are always sitting in their rooms playing on the games, and you, the mom, washing, cleaning, sweeping, doing everything, please, you're not doing them any justice. So please, 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 let's get them off the couch and let them do something so that when they go one day, my daughter told me some of the kids come to university and they can't even lay their beds. That is how bad it is. So please, let's do it. Darling, you are in North Carolina. You have all these women, and how do you plan? How do you plan the events? How do you plan? Because you're on Clubhouse, you're on Facebook, you're traveling all over the states doing events. How do you plan all this and be the person that you are, Lily?
Yeah, well, I like to think because, I feel like I try to stay in great alignment with God, that, he gives me divine strategy, divine ideas, and that allows me to be in a lot of places at once. And so honestly, that's really how I'm able to manage it all, is just getting that divine strategy from God to say, okay, it's the month of love. You should host a self-love event for the women that need to learn how to love themselves. And so, okay, that's a great idea, Lord. Let me get on that. And so, I just try to be obedient to my purpose and my calling, which is elevating women both spiritually and financially. And so all of my events have those two undertones. And, I try to create as many opportunities and for women to speak and women to grow and women to really elevate themselves in all facets of life as I can possibly manage. So I don't know if there's not really like a particular way that I do it. It's very spontaneous, but it's very, I feel like, divine, everything that I'm moving forward with as it relates to my business and the events that I host. So I definitely encourage anyone that's watching to please visit my site, theglamceo.com. If you are a woman that has a voice and wants to speak on any facet of womanhood, entrepreneurship, motherhood, wifehood, and you want to inspire the ladies that follow my brand, I would definitely encourage you to visit my site and become a speaker, because that's what my platform is about, being a resource and opportunity for other women.
Fantastic. So tell me about this reality show that you were in that went on
Sure.
Netflix. Yeah.
Yeah, so the show is called Love is Blind, and it's actually an Emmy-nominated show that debuted last March. And so the premise was finding love blindly. So we would date without seeing the person, and at the end of the experience, several people got proposed to without ever having seen each other. And it became an international success all over the world, surprisingly. So it was great to have a small part of that show, or be part of such a great cast and amazing show that's all about love, because I love love. So hearing you ladies' stories about long marriages really warms my heart, because I love Black love specifically, but I love love, period. So yeah,
Love,
that's the
love.
show. I do.
I like that. Love, love. So Nana,
Yeah.
was yours, you were young then. Did you believe in love? Because we are in a generation that people don't believe in love anymore. As somebody because it's a love man, I'm speaking to people, those couples, singles, and I have the opportunity to talk to somebody who's been married for 65 years, another 75 years, 60 years. And the lady she said when they were celebrating their 60 years anniversary, they went to a card shop and they said they don't do 60 years anniversary cards anymore, because people don't marry till to
Yeah.
that
Wow.
age anymore. And I said, okay, I pray that me and Commander will be married to 100 years, and he will be
More.
101 and will be 100, and we'll still be active and getting on with it. So did you believe in love, and do you still believe in love? That's
Yes.
my question to all of you.
Yes.
Nana, answer me first.
100%. 100%. I mean, I love love. I mean, I love love. I love people. I love being around people. I love helping people. I just love, personally, I love life. I'm always smiling. I'm always happy. And I want everyone to be happy, everyone around me to be happy. I don't see why you can't be in love and why you can't love. I don't know. I wouldn't be able to explain why you can't love. Maybe
Hey,
because I've got
okay.
love around
All right.
me.
I'll come back to you again. Gifty. Love, love.
I love
I like the fact that she said she'll come back to you again. But sorry, I wanted to check with LillieMae when you said you were on Love is Blind, because I watched that. Were you a participant or what were you?
Yes, I was one of the castmates. So if you go back and watch the first episode, you'll see me talking to the camera. I have a bright yellow dress on. You'll be like, wow, that's Lillie.
She
So
came
I
very
was
bright.
Yeah, I was in like 4 scenes.
Okay, because I watched you all the way to the end. Yes, okay, that's interesting. I'll go back then. All
We're
right,
going
back to my question. So what you're saying is, what do I love love, or sorry, Nana, what was the question again,
Yes,
please?
love, love. Do you love, love? Are you still in love? Would you say, I know we grow. I know we grow. Maybe when you saw your husband and your heart nearly popped out, now it's kind of tamed and, but are you still in that vibe? I'm so much in love with my husband and, you know,
Yeah. So it's interesting, actually. So when, of course, love changes and it matures into a different way, because otherwise, what you feel at the beginning, that's just not sustainable. If you felt like that 25 years later, you need to be hospitalized, because
oh, really?
well, because that intensity is just not sustainable. It really is not sustainable. It changes to something, because that's also transient. It changes into something more sustainable, something deeper. Do you know? And so it's not like you're there literally weak at the knees every time. Because you just cannot control life. You cannot control life like that. But you still you love him, and you will die for him. Do you know? So that is different, because at the start you don't know if you die for him when your knees are buckling. You're like, okay, that is just just hormones raging up and down. But when it gets to the point where you've lived life together, where you've had your life experiences, like in my case, when I had my second child, I was very ill. I had surgery. I was in hospital for about 10 days, and there he was with me completely out of it, comatose, coming out of surgery. And there he was batting for me, fighting with the doctors, because, and when somebody does that for you, and when I came home, He was there. I couldn't walk. I couldn't do anything. At that point, nobody's thinking love, love. What you're thinking is painkillers and can I come down the stairs? And he was there, unwavering in his love and support. If you ask me, that is love. Do you know? That is enduring when you know that no matter what, that person has got your back. That assurance, that security takes you through love, through life, do you know? And yes, the love is there, but it's a different kind of love. And if anything, you know, it is like I love him more. It's 25 years later, the relationship has got more depth, it's got more color. You talk shorthand, do you know? So it is different. That's all I'll say. It's just different from what it was in the start. And yes, do I still love him? Of course I still love him. Of course I still love him. But it's just different.
It's different.
Wow. I like it's a yes. So well, so love is blind. I like that. Love is blind. So because we it's love is it's a big thing, isn't it? Somebody and I asked a gentleman, they've been married 45 years, says if you don't love somebody, don't say, if you don't mean I love you, don't say it to the person. And many of us are, maybe because of circumstances, we got married early, or because of circumstances, things are changing. How many times would your man or you as a lady tell your man I love you? Because it's a powerful word, and we hardly say it, especially in our culture. So Lily, how many times, or how do you express your love to your man?
Well, I feel like, one thing to keep in mind too when having this discussion of love is that God is love, right? So when you think about his love for us, it's agape love, which is an unlimited love. So I feel like in marriage, what Gifty is speaking to is agape love, when you can love someone when they're down, when they're sick, when they're healthy. And so I think, love is shown through actions, is shown through being there for someone. I think Gifty just perfectly, illustrated what love really is and what it looks like. But just try to be as considerate and empathetic as possible. I think it's important, especially with my generation, that we give people more grace, because it's easy as a single, when you've been single for a long time, it's easy to become jaded and you don't give people the benefit of the doubt. You're assuming the worst about everybody because of past experiences. But I think the more we as singles get aligned with God, the more we make a better discernment about who we choose to love. And that probably lessens some of the challenges that we have. So to answer your question, I show love by, actions, being considerate, doing things that my partner enjoys doing, and just being there for him during, challenging times. That's my way of showing love.
So how many times do you say I love you?
I don't know. I definitely haven't counted, but I think love is more of an action word than the hearing it. I think when you're much younger, you thirst to hear someone say I love you, but as a seasoned person, you know that the words have no weight to the action. So I think my actions show love daily, and I think that's far more important than hearing the words, to be honest.
Your actions, and I like that, because women, especially when we're courting, or the man comes into your life, we want to hear, oh, you did not say I love you, and that alone creates a fight, or brings havoc. And so it's important that you discern, and then the person's action, because somebody can say I love you 100 times, and in their heart they're the most wickedest person you can ever meet. So as a single lady out there, if you're watching us, please learn to know the actions of people. Pray for discernment. It's very, very, very important. Nana, right? So I know you love. So, well, do you say I love you? Do you say the words I love you to your husband, or him saying it back to you, or is just the actions that speaks louder than words?
Both. I'll say it's the actions, as the lady said. Well, they're there for you. They've got your back. You can depend on them. Everything can be going crazy in your life, but you think about them. They'll look after you. They take care of you. They've got your back. So definitely, yeah, actions. as well. It's a big thing. So yeah, what the lady Gifty and Lily said is very true. Very
You know,
true.
in our community where we say that the men hardly say, you know, they are very, um, what's the word? Uh, they hardly say things. You know, they sit back, and maybe it's in our culture, Lily, where the three of us come from Africa, and specifically Ghana. And some of the things we don't say, we weren't trained, or people weren't used to seeing their parents doing it. But then we've traveled to this side of the world, and maybe, well, somebody say, "Oh, you've copied the Western culture," but um, it's about you being at home and doing the things for your marriage to thrive. And I know that you're going to have a wonderful relationship, because I know your spirit, and we pray that you have a wonderful marriage. Please invite us to the wedding, all of us will come. But Gifty and Nana have a beautiful marriage, so it is possible to have a wonderful and beautiful loving marriage, and bring your children up very, very well. Because there's so many people who say, oh, you know, I was going to speak my language in Europe, you know, it's impossible to have that successful marriage, because the man is doing his thing, the woman is doing her thing, money wise, everything wise. So ladies, this is for Gifty and Nana. How have you been able to team up with your? You say you have the support of your husband, so do I. But when it comes to money wise, how are you able to communicate to not to have that issue of, you know, should I say, fighting over finances or disagreement over finances?
So I want to take that, and I also want to speak to the bit about the saying "I love you" in our culture, and and the way we don't say it in our culture. And I think it depends, and I'm very guilty of that. I mean, my husband says it to me a lot more than I do, but then I'm the one that's Ghanaian, right? So we weren't brought up like that, so it doesn't come, I suppose, naturally or easily to me. I more um show my love through actions and stuff like that. But it depends on the person you're dealing with and what they want to see. The fact that I express my love through actions doesn't mean that that is what he needs. He needs to hear it. And so you have to know what your partner wants and communicate love to them in the way that they want. So for me, he doesn't need to tell me he loves me because the actions are good enough for me, but he tells me anyway, right? And what I've had to work on, and I'm still not good at it. It's still a work in progress, because I am still African woman, right? And
Gifty, how long have you been in this country? You know, so
but I still it doesn't come naturally to me. I still need to work on that. So all right, so that's the love bit. But let me talk to the money side of things and how it is. Again, when and I honestly believe that before people get married, the practical side of things, they need to sit down. And normally when people do it through churches and stuff, they have counseling. So they talk them through that side of things. Because the time when you're feeling that butterflies and your knees are buckling, nobody's thinking about money, right? And you think those things are going to go and sort themselves out, and they don't sort themselves out. You have to get pragmatic at some point. And if you do it before you get married, that is like the best time. But most people don't, and they sort of try and retrofit it when it becomes a problem and they're fighting, and that's when then they have to go and look at a way of dealing with it. But I remember, because I actually got married in Ghana, and I remember my brother-in-law at that time pulling me aside and saying to me, when it comes to financial management, this is what you need to do to make sure that both of you are happy and both of you are practical. Because again, on our side, it just depends, because a lot of women sometimes put a lot of pressure on the men because of our culture to be the breadwinner and all that, and that also causes problems, because you need to decide, just like how in Anna's case, at some point she decided she was going to give up work and come and be a full-time mother. It's that conversation with your husband. Is it okay can we do this? How are we going to manage? What are we going to cut back on? But it's a constant dialogue between the two of you, to say this is how you're going to do it. And money should not be a taboo in a marriage. It should be discussed, and it should be discussed openly.
Okay, Nana.
I think you've just covered it all. But again, what I'll say is consult, as Gifty was saying, consult with each other, plan, so everything is open book. And you plan everything that you're going to do, every spend, if it's a big spend, what you're going to do if you're taking the kids' school fees, more. I think you have to discuss everything. It has to be open. As Gifty's saying, it shouldn't be a taboo. So that we all know what's coming in. Because we're together, we know what's coming in. We know each other's jobs, so we know what's coming in, and we know what we can do, what we can afford. Not living, above your means, your means, and just making sure that you're within budget. We're in a real world, so I think consulting with each other when it comes to big financial decisions is paramount. You have to. So
Well,
that's
it's very important, because that is one of the things that is causing a lot of marriage breakdowns, because the finances are not discussed. The wife is doing her thing, the husband is doing his thing, and it always brings a conflict. And then the other people that are in the marriage as well. So we will come to that. I want to go to LillieMae. LillieMae, as a young lady, I know you've seen somebody, so but we want you to advise the single ladies out there, in terms of, you have a successful business, in terms of finance and all that. How are you keeping things together, so that when the ring goes on the finger, you're able to say, hey, this is what I've got, this is you whole. Let me put it this way: how do you advise the single ladies that you've got to be whole before you go into that marriage or that relationship, and not just love, love, love?
Sure. I think, it's important to use your single time to work on yourself and look at it as a gift, because once you get married, that's forever. So it's no more alone time. It's no more, time to just fully work on your spiritual life, your physical self, your finances, your business, your personal interests. So I think my advice to women would just be to look at singleness more as a gift. I mean, obviously we're human, so you're going to have some lonely nights. You're going to see people get engaged. You're going to feel some type of way, but just continue to lean into God so that you can just really work on all these facets of yourself and be, like Nana said, a whole person when you get to the point of, growing into an engagement with someone. And I do think that the better that you work on yourself, the better that you attract, so oftentimes we're wondering why we're attracting a certain type of person, and they may be attracted to a brokenness that we don't realize we have. So it's very important to just really use this time as a gift to just work on yourself financially, get an accountant, get a financial advisor, work on thinking about retirement, savings as well. Think of starting a business if you haven't already, even on the side if you work as well. Get involved in a devotional group, find purpose in your life and figure out, what this season is supposed to be teaching you, because there are lessons in every season as well. So that would be my advice to anyone that's in their single season, to just really look at it as a gift to work on yourself in all those facets and become whole, like you said.
Fantastic. We wanted, if you've just tuned in, I'm talking to these three powerful queens, and we're talking about love. It's a love season, and love in our marriages, love as a single person, and love as a whole. One of the things that women tend not to do is loving themselves. As a mother, as a wife, as an entrepreneur, sometimes many of us don't love ourselves. We don't care for ourselves. So, Nana, I see you I happen to be Nana's friend on Instagram, and she's either exercising or posting all these things about loving yourself and caring for yourself. Nana, how did you get into it? And I know you passed 40, but you look amazing. Educate us.
I think you have to try and look at the brighter side of life. You just, one, as women, we're busy. Like for myself and Gifty, obviously, with kids, working, husband, all of that. But you have to try and make time for yourself, because you've got to acknowledge the fact that you're the head of the household, really. you're managing stuff. So if you're not happy, it reflects on the whole family. They all feel it. If I'm upset and I'm really angry and I'm screaming my head down, everybody's cowering because they think, oh, mummy's upset. So if I'm happy, we've got a happy home. So you've got to build, and if you want to build a happy home, then you've got to try and make yourself happy. And what can you do to make yourself happy? In my case, I've got 3 kids, I've got business, it's go, go, go. But I always I make time for myself. Is there do not disturb moments? Is there going for long walks, either by myself or if I want with my partner, with my husband, with my husband, go for long walks. So doing things that I want to do. So mine is obviously going to the gym, but obviously COVID not happening. I've created a gym. In my, every morning I bring everything out, I do my bit, I take it back. So it's just my time. So you always have to have, me time is so important. So once you have that, then at least you've got an open heart and you're happy doing what you want. It's not just you looking after everybody else, but not yourself. I think you just break down. You have to look after yourself. So that's what I do. I just make time for myself. If I have to wake up earlier so that if we've got something planned, at least I've done it. I know that I had time in the day for me. Take out 15 minutes of the day, 30 minutes, half an hour, but you've got to make time for yourself.
Gifty, how do you make time for yourself? I know in your book, the octopus on a treadmill is also, you teach women about spirituality, taking self-care and all that. So how do you make time for yourself?
So self-care is my bag, right? So because I help women out of burnout, and these women in burnout, they have not prioritized themselves. They've put themselves at the back of the queue. And so they've burned themselves out because the mistake for us women, and if we're not careful, your whole life will be in service to other lives, right? I repeat that. Women live their lives in service to other lives and put themselves on the back burner. So it's like, I get married, that's it now. Oh, yeah, my Lord and Master, right? And then children come along and it's like, okay, here it's just my children. And then by the time the children leave home, you're sat there staring at yourself thinking, what the hell happened here? Now, that's no way to live. And you have to factor yourself into the equation every step of the way. And so carving time out for yourself, it should be an unapologetic action, right? Because self-care is medicine. Self-care keeps you out of the doctor's office. Self-care is what allows you to be emotionally available for your children. And there's research that shows that children's emotional template is set on their mother's emotional template. So hear this, ladies. If you want your children to be emotionally secure, you need to carve that time out for yourself to take care of yourself. Because otherwise, when you're there all stressed out, you are actually affecting your children's emotional template. So you have a duty of care to yourself, because what you think is just you servicing other people. But if you're servicing other people and you yourself are in deficit, it affects the quality of what you put out there. So for me, and I mean, I can talk until the cows come home on this, because, I put my life on the back burner, put myself on the back burner. And before I knew it, I was standing at Harley Street, clutching a spreadsheet of 14 symptoms, right? I'm thinking my life was over. And that was what woke me up. And so now my children know, there are certain self-care activities like I do, that at weekends like that, when I'm there in my Epsom salt and lavender bath and I'm in there for like an hour, they know better to leave me alone. That is not the time, unless the house is on fire. That is not the time to come and tell me anything. Now, of course, I make time for them. I'm available for them other times, but there are boundaries where they know this is mommy's time. And so we need to leave mommy alone. So, and that is clearly communicated to my husband and my children. Because that is the other thing when it comes to self-care, where we feel awkward about taking that time for ourselves, and then we don't tell people about it for them to make the time for us. But that's what you need to do. You are fully entitled to it. And if I give you the oxygen mask analogy on an aeroplane, if you need to put that mask on for yourself, that's what they advise you, even before you tend to your baby. It's the same thing. You cannot pour out of an empty cup. The cup has got to be full before you pour.
Fantastic. You've said it all. Self-care is so important. And LillieMae, I know you organizing something for women for self-care and love this love season. Tell us about it and why self-care.
Yeah. So, again, typically February is the month where everyone focuses on romantic love. And so I know that before you achieve a really healthy romantic love, you have to have self-love. And that, stems from proper self-care and wellness. So I think this is actually the first event of this nature that I've done. It's a virtual event. So we'll have guest speakers. We'll have some celebrity guests that I'm very excited to announce very soon. We'll have some entertainment, poetry, just all types of things to remind women of how to take care of themselves and celebrate themselves. So if anyone watching wants to register for free, just visit loveyou2.eventbrite.com. And if you're interested, like I said, in speaking on any facet of self-care and wellness, mental health, spirituality, or anything like that, you can DM me. My Instagram is right there. I am LillieMae, and I would love to share those details, because I think, like all of these ladies have said, there's so many outward things that we have to do to show ourselves proper self-care. And to add to what they've said, we have to remember that self-love is a mindset. And so we have to take care of our mind, and we have to, think better thoughts about ourselves. And we have to, really tune into that part of how we feel about ourselves. Because oftentimes there are unprocessed traumas and experiences from younger days that affect how we feel about us. And so I always encourage ladies, in addition to having that empowerment routine where you're exercising and, taking your baths, make sure you get some therapy so that you can really, truly process any unhealed traumas or negative experiences that you've had, and really get on the road to self-love, because God is love.
Wow. You've got to love yourself. Today I thought, we're not going anywhere. It's my home is the airport, is the waiting room, is the school, is everything now. And so, I get out and say, look, just have a palm braid section and then dress up. I'm sure we're not going to wear the dresses. You're not wearing the dress to anywhere. So take care of yourself, and I think when you do that, it rekindles something in you by just, and as Gifty said, that cup, if that cup is not full, you can't give it out. You can, if you're not loving yourself too much, you can't love others, because it's you can't give what you don't have. Let me put it simple as that. You can't give what you don't have. So let's take care of ourselves. Well, we are in lockdown. How are you three ladies spicing your love life? Because we're not going to for dinner. We're not going to the movies. We're not. So somebody's asking. Okay, let's ask these ladies. How are they spicing their love life, since we are all in one house? Some people are literally strangling their spouses. So if you haven't strangled yours yet, how are you keeping the love up? Nana.
Whew. Yeah, it's been a long lockdown.
Yes, Nana, tell us.
I think is giving everybody knowing everyone gets to know the boundaries, and everybody giving each other time, and giving each other space, but then making time for each other as well. So I think once you get that balance right, it works. So for me with the kids, my kids are all different characters. So we chat as a group, and then also I chat with them individually. So I'll go to each one's room just to see, like an audit, check out from them what's going on, that sort of thing, and then deal with that, then next, and that sort of thing. And then my husband, we have regular audits, so we know where each other's at and how we're feeling, and then we also give each other space. But then again, as you go for long walks and have dinner together.
So now you do date nights at home.
Yeah, you have date nights at home.
At home. Okay.
Yeah. This is
Oh,
like pampering sessions. You can give him a facial, just, my daughter giving a manicure. So just look after each other, really. But
okay.
space, because if you're on top of each other, then that's when all hell breaks.
So giving each other space.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
somebody would say they're just in two-bedroom house. How do they give each other space? Yeah.
Just know when the person is quiet, you just don't go
Okay.
probing.
Okay. Okay. I got it. Got it. Thank you. Gifty, please.
Yes, so I mean, talk about giving each other space and stuff like that when you're in a two bedroom house. There is the physical space and there's also the emotional space. So you can be in the same room with somebody and you can be miles apart, right? So it's knowing when they need space and giving them space, and not talking at them 24/7 if they don't want to be talked at. And just respecting, like Nana said, respecting the boundaries and stuff like that. But for me, and I'm also one of these weird creatures. I'm a very sociable person, but I also like my own space. So lockdown actually suits me down to the ground. I'm probably the only person that's not complaining about lockdown. Um, but I'm also lucky. I live in the woods. So, I'm surrounded by nature. And I just head out for a walk with the dogs, which is lovely. And that's my exercise every day. And I just do that. And whenever, if my husband is about and he wants to come, we do those walks as well. And I'm happy to go on my own to give him his space. And, when he wants to come, he can come. And then it's a different type of walks. And then obviously we have dinners together. My other son is at university, so the younger one is at home. And so we sit and we eat together. So that is sort of a touch point. But sometimes it's not possible. People are doing different things, and it's just respecting that as well. And then this is our thing that we do. We watch a movie every evening together, just me and him, right? And we've always had that thing where when the kids went to bed, that was our time to kind of just sit and talk and chill and stuff like that. Luckily, we've always been friends, so we've always been able to talk about stuff together. But in the evenings now, it's like who's choosing the movie, and then we sit down, and every evening that's a point of connection for us where we get to. So long as I don't choose a bad movie, I get to live.
I like that. So far as yes, we date nights are very, very important. So it's great that it's like me. The lockdown hasn't really, I know the only thing is that I can't travel, so that's the only thing that But apart from that, I'm fine. I'm a home girl, so I'm fine. We watch movies together. And Commander loves action movies. I love the rom coms, but we blend, so it's a happy moments at home. We've married over 20 years now. I think this Easter Sunday we'll be celebrating 23rd anniversary. So we're good, we're buddies, we're friends. The most important thing, he hasn't changed. I When people say people change, the physical change, some of us have had babies and we're still trying to work out, and but he's been the man that I met many, many years ago, very respectful, very hands-on. The only thing I keep saying that I need my six-pack back, so he's working on the six-pack, So, we can't change people, but the way we do things makes them change. If you're respectful, if you're loving, if you're kind, if you communicate, if you agree on things, if you disagree on things, these are things that makes a healthy relationship, and obviously complementing each other and not allowing people in our marriage or in your relationship. You can take some advice, but you have to be careful who you are taking that advice to. And that is another thing that is making a lot of people marriages break down. For me, lockdown, we're spicing our love life. Thank God I can't have no any more babies. I don't know, maybe I would have had like 10 babies by now, but so we good. We having a fantastic time with the kids, and the amazing thing is, yes, we sit, we chat, we pray together, we read together. when it's time for maths, I push them to their dad because he's good at maths. And then when it's English, they can come and talk to mom. But I think this is an experience that makes, see whether your family is solid or not. So don't let lockdown be that excuse that my home is on fire. Use it to manage your marriage, your relationship, your kids, and let's respect everyone. So to round it up, Lily, tell us your social media handles again and what's going on and when is the wedding so that we can come.
Oh gosh. I received that prophecy. Thank you,
Amen.
prophet, for prophesying that. Okay. So my website is theglamceo.com. That is theglamceo.com. Like anyone viewing, please visit my website because there are so many amazing opportunities for women. My social media platforms are at I am LillieMae, as I put here, and my business page is at Glambitious IAM. So, like Nana mentioned, we do have the self-love event at the end of this month. And then we also have another event at the end of March for Women's History Month. So we're also accepting speakers for that. And then I'm releasing a book, a collaborative book. It's called The Glambitious Guide to Being a Mompreneur. And so that releases on Mother's Day. I'm not a mom, but I allow other mothers to write their stories and journeys. And then I put it together in this book and we release it on Mother's Day to inspire other women that they can juggle it all. So any moms that are interested, just send me a direct message if you want to write and inspire other women. So those are the things that I have coming up. And thank you for having me, Nana, on this platform.
You're welcome. You're so welcome. Last year Mother's Day, because our Mother's Day, it's in the States, it's in May, but in the UK is in March. And
Okay.
last year I had the opportunity to be part of what LillieMae is doing, and it's amazing. I've been on her platform a couple of times, and it's really pushed my brand as well. So I will definitely recommend you, Nana. It's Valentine's. I see you put a lot of meal recipes on your page. So give us a tip that what we can do this Valentine for our spouse.
Ooh. Well, what I will do.
No, tell us what we can do to.
Oh, okay. I think every day should be Valentine's Day. Every day should be love. So it shouldn't be any different, really. But if you have to make the effort, I think it'll be nice if you both make an effort to dress up, plan the day, go for a nice long walk, come back, have breakfast. I will go for some pancakes with strawberries and some cream.
Mm-hmm.
And then for lunch, maybe, what would I think of? Some mussels. My husband loves mussels. And garlic and butter with cream. And some toasted sourdough. That should do it. And then in the evening, you can have dinner. No, actually, in between, you can give him a facial, and then he can give you a foot massage.
Ew, okay.
Yes, or shoulder massage as well. And then maybe for dinner, you can have pan-fried sea bass with some asparagus, because I know you love asparagus, and broccoli with some white wine sauce.
Okay.
And then for desserts, that's between the two of you.
So I didn't hear any wache, no fufu, no jollof.
Enough of that.
Gifty, okay.
Enough of that.
Okay, Gifty. I know you're also going to give me salad, or you're going to give me what?
Oh, sorry. Are you asking me for food now?
No. So give us a tip on Valentine's and for Valentine's Day.
As in what people should do for Valentine's Day?
Yeah, some tips for us.
Okay, some tips, to rekindle your love on Valentine's Day. How about sit there and have a good, old, honest chat with your husband? You can go for a walk and do this chat, but I'm sure there are things that you've been meaning to talk about that's been put on the back burner, it's never a good time or whatever it is. So you want to get into a non-threatening environment so you can both open up, but start with just, booking time with each other just to have a good old honest conversation.
Have a
Can I
good
add
old.
something too?
Yes, do.
Okay. Yeah, I wanted to suggest that people start to channel their inner kid or their inner child, because sometimes as adults, everything is so serious. And so I'm a silly Billy, if anyone knows me. And so that has been a really fun unfolding in my new partnership. It's just channeling our inner kid, like, having karaoke nights, playing games like Taboo and things like that. We even built a fort in the living room. You know how kids hang up sheets and stuff, so it's like, I think channeling your inner kid could be an alternative to the typical romantic Valentine's Day that we're used to, but maybe do something fun, get a karaoke microphone and channel your inner kid to just have a different type of connecting on Valentine's Day. That would just be my advice.
Wow. Do something different. Do something different. I'm so thankful to all of you for coming to share. And I know a lot of us have learned something today. Don't take things so serious. We want you to spice up your love life. If things are gloom and doom, we pray that you find light this love season. And it doesn't have to be just in February, all year round. Rekindle it because it's so, so important. It's life is healthy for your life. And as I said, this month our book is Octopus on a Treadmill by Gifty Enright. Gifty, where can we get the book, please?
You can get it on Amazon. If you're in the UK, well, nobody's going to a bookshop anyway, because I'll say you could get it from Barnes and Nobles as well. But yeah, it's on Amazon, so that's the easiest way to get it. Yeah.
Thank you so much. And your social media handler?
Gifty Enright. So Instagram is at Gifty Enright, Twitter, all those things, Gifty Enright.
Nana, what about you?
It's Nana Preko.
On social media.
Social
Thank
media.
you so much, ladies. I am grateful for your time. I wish you a successful businesses and all that you're doing, and especially in your marriage. And I look forward to you coming to share with us again. Have a
Thank you.
blessed
Thank you
week.
for having us.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Bye bye. So I am so thankful that you tuned in, and I hope you've learned something today. I pray that your marriage, your relation with your spouse, with your family, with your children will be lightened, be that beacon of light. And I tell you, things will never be the same for you. Have a wonderful evening and a blessed week ahead. Take care and God bless. Bye bye.